GTA biker gangs are not gangs. They're failed nations on wheels. Biker gangs in GTA don't operate like the families, the ballas, or the triads. They don't fight over blocks. They don't sell on street corners. They don't climb hierarchies by moving weight or capping rivals. You can wipe out their leadership, burn their clubhouses, and scatter their members across the map, and they come back. Same patch, same fury, same cycle. That's not how gangs work. That's how nations work. GTA biker gangs are not gangs, they're failed nations on wheels. They have territory without borders, citizenship without documents, law without courts, and economy without prosperity. They survive leader deaths because leaders aren't the system is the patch, the club, the code. And once you see them that way, their violence makes sense. Quick note, I've linked a few items related to this video in the description and pinned comment. If you're curious, check them out now. Let's get back to the story. Let's start with territory because biker gangs don't hold it the way other criminals do. Street gangs in GTA are geographic. The families hold Grove Street. The ballas control Idlewood. The Vagos own Rancho. You know who runs what by looking at a map. Turf is static. You defend it, you lose it, you take it back. It's real estate with guns. Biker gangs don't work that way. The Lost MC has multiple locations. Stab City's trailer park called The Range, the East Vinewood Clubhouse near the racetrack, hideouts at RL, Hunter & Sons on Seaview Road, and scattered presences in North Chumash and Sandy Shores. But none of these are territories they defend like a street gang would. They're anchor points, power centers. Clubhouses are not businesses or safe zones. They're capitals. The Lost MC Clubhouse in Actor Alderney or the one in East Vinewood isn't where they make money. It's where they exist as a political entity. It's where votes happen, where prospects get patched in, where punishment is delivered. You can destroy a clubhouse and the club survives, because the clubhouse is just a building. The nation is the people wearing the cut. Territory for bikers is wherever the patch is recognized. It's not land, it's presence. Respect, fear. A lost chapter rolling through Sandy Shores doesn't own the town, but while they're there, they own the moment. That's why biker conflicts don't start over corners or product. They start over disrespect. The Lost MC's war with the Angels of Death began because an Angel member allegedly slept with a Lost member's mother. Billy Gray put an Angel member's nephew in a coma during a motorcycle accident. These aren't business disputes. They're sovereignty violations. And here's the system's genius. Chapters operate independently but share the same identity. The Lost MC in Liberty City and the Lost in San Andreas are separate powers, but they're the same nation. Kill the president of one chapter, another chapter keeps riding. There's no central government to collapse. According to game lore, the Angels of Death had chapters in nearly every American state, plus the UK, Scandinavia, Canada, and Australia. The Lost expanded nationwide between 2009 and 2012. These aren't local gangs, they're decentralized federations. That's why you can't kill a biker gang, you'd have to kill the idea. Now let's talk about citizenship, because in GTA's biker world, the patch isn't a logo, it's who you are. In GTA Online, when you join a motorcycle club, you start as a prospect. You're not a full member, you wear a partial cut, no back patch, no voting rights. You exist in limbo, stateless, waiting to be accepted. The president decides when you're ready. Once you get patched in, everything changes. You're no longer just you, you're lost. You're a brother. The president can promote you to enforcer, sergeant-at-arms, road captain, or vice president. Each rank has specific duties and abilities. But you also surrender autonomy. The club votes on major decisions, war, alliances, punishment, and once the vote passes, you obey. Doesn't matter if you disagreed. Doesn't matter if it's suicidal. The patch demands total loyalty. Leaving is not an option. In GTA 4's Lost and Damned, Brian Jeremy tries to defect and start his own chapter. Johnny Klebitz hunts down Brian's trustees and, optionally, Brian himself. When Johnny himself relocates to Blaine County by 2013, he's still lost, still wearing the cut, still operating under club law, even thousands of miles from Alderney. The patch isn't clothing. It's a binding contract written in blood and enforced by violence. Members who betray the club are erased. Billy Gray was prepared to turn state's evidence on Johnny and Angus Martin. The Lost broke into prison and personally murdered him. It's treason, and treason is punished like a nation would punish it absolutely. In GTA, you don't wear the patch. The patch replaces your identity. This brings us to law because biker gangs have rules, structure, and brutal enforcement, but zero institutions. There are no police in a biker gang, no courts, no appeals process. The club is judge, jury, and executioner. In GTA Online's MC system, the president controls everything, naming the club, assigning roles, setting outfit styles, launching contracts. Members vote on club matters through the hierarchy, but the president has final say. Break a rule, disrespect a brother, steal from the club, talk to cops, and punishment is immediate. In The Lost and Damned, when Billy Gray reignites the war with the Angels of Death against Johnny's wishes, there's no legal mechanism to stop him. The club fractures into factions loyal to Billy versus loyal to Johnny. Eventually, Johnny kills Billy. That's the resolution. Violence, not law. The rules are known. Everyone understands what happens if you violate them. The Lost MC has a clear hierarchy: president, vice president, road captain, sergeant at arms. Rockstar based this on real outlaw MC structures. There's a code, and the code is enforced internally with absolute clarity. And punishment isn't individual, it's collective. When Trevor Phillips destroys the Lost's meth operation at the range in Sandy Shores, he doesn't just kill a few members. He slaughters Terry Thorpe, Clay Simons, and others, then burns their headquarters. The entire chapter collapses, but the Lost in East Vinewood still operate. The system persists. This is why biker gangs feel older than the rest of GTA's criminal world. Street gangs operate in the shadow of the state. They avoid cops, work around laws, exploit gaps in the system. Biker gangs reject the state entirely. They build their own legal order and enforce it without asking permission. It's pre-modern, tribal. A system that could exist in any century, on any frontier, as long as there's no higher authority to stop it. And it works until it doesn't. Let's talk about economy, because this is where the failed state model becomes obvious. Biker gangs in GTA make money. The Lost MC runs guns, cooks meth, moves product, executes contracts. In GTA Online, MC businesses include cocaine lockups, meth labs, weed farms, document forgery, and counterfeit cash. These generate revenue, but they're not building wealth. They're funding survival. Street gangs in GTA are capitalist. The Ballas want to grow. Carl Johnson's Grove Street empire expands. The families want power and property. Profit leads somewhere to bigger operations, to safer positions, to a future where the grind pays off. Biker gangs don't have that trajectory. Money comes in and money goes out. It pays for bikes, for clubhouses, for weapons, for bail, for bribes. In GTA Online, your clubhouse accumulates cash stacks up to $25 million on the desk and floor, but that money doesn't translate to escape or evolution. It keeps the system running, but it doesn't accumulate into anything beyond maintenance. This is by design. A biker gang that prioritized profit over loyalty would stop being a biker gang. It would turn into a cartel or a corporation. The system resists evolution because evolution would require members to value individual success over collective identity, and the patch doesn't allow that. You're not in this to get rich. You're in this because you're lost. And being lost is the point. So the economy runs in circles. Jobs fund the clubhouse. The clubhouse enables more jobs. Members get enough to survive and nothing more. The nation sustains itself indefinitely, but it never prospers. It's a maintenance system, not a growth system. And that's why biker gangs in GTA are always on the edge of collapse but never disappear. They're designed to survive, not to win. Now here's the meta question. Why did Rockstar write them this way? Because biker gangs represent something GTA's world has mostly moved past loyalty-based systems in a profit-driven universe. The rest of the criminal underworld is transactional. You work with people because they're useful. You kill them when they're not. Trust is a risk. Partnerships are temporary. Everyone's playing the same game. Get paid, get out, get ahead. Biker gangs don't play that game. They're bound by identity, not incentive. The patch is permanent, brotherhood is absolute, and that makes them anachronisms, pre-modern power structures trying to survive in a world that's left them behind. Rockstar uses them to explore a specific kind of masculinity, the kind that defines itself through belonging, through violence, through codes that can't be questioned. Biker gangs are anti-modern. They reject negotiation, reject progress, reject the idea that there's any life outside the club, and that makes them tragic, because the world has moved on, and they haven't. You see this in the Lost MC's arc across GTA 4 and GTA 5. In Liberty City, they're already fracturing Billy versus Johnny, old school versus pragmatism, loyalty versus survival. By the time we reach Blaine County in 2013, Johnny Klebitz is a meth addict, broken, a shadow of the protagonist players controlled in The Lost and Damned. Trevor stomps his head in with a beer bottle in the mission, Mr. Phillips. Then Trevor massacres Terry, Clay, and dozens of other Lost members at the range. The gang is effectively destroyed in Blaine County. But here's the thing. Even after Trevor, the Lost still exist. The East Vinewood Clubhouse remains operational. Lost members still appear in GTA Online missions. In 2019, players attack lost members at a derelict motel under orders from the Cheng family. In 2021, players destroy lost meth labs. In 2022, the Lost go to war with the Fooligans. In 2025, players evict lost squatters from the Buenvino Road mansion. Because you can kill bikers, but you can't kill the system. As long as one chapter survives, the nation survives. As long as someone believes in the patch has power. Rockstar is not celebrating biker gangs. They're dissecting them, showing how loyalty without adaptation leads to stagnation, how identity without flexibility leads to extinction, how systems built on violence can sustain themselves forever, but they can never escape the cycle they've created. GTA biker gangs don't fall because they're weak. They fail because they replace institutions with loyalty and identity with violence. They survive forever, trapped on a road with no exits, riding toward nothing, bound by a code that won't let them stop. They're nations that can never govern, economies that can never grow, citizens who can never leave. And that's not a gang. That's a state in permanent collapse on two wheels, moving fast, going nowhere. In GTA, biker gangs are trapped by loyalty. Business owners are trapped by money. Different paths, same illusion of freedom. If you want to see how Rockstar designed that trap, watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe.